Hi, everybody. It's the Pre-Accident Podcast Safety Moment. I'm Todd Conklin, your lovely host. Let's talk a little bit about your organization. You want to? That's always fun. I'll bet you have a production department or an operations area. I'll bet you have a quality area, and I'll bet you have a safety area. Among others, you probably have human resources and finance, procurement, warehouse, all that stuff. But let's talk about that three-legged stool that we often talk to workers about, the relationship between quality, operations, and safety. You know, I think it's interesting because I think we see that relationship as coming together at the leadership level. But in fact, I would challenge that thinking pretty directly. I don't think that relationship comes together at the leadership level. I don't think the plant manager is the ultimate point at which quality, operations, and safety meet. I actually think it's quite the opposite. I think that comes together only in one place in the organization. And the place it comes together in the organization is at the pointy end of the stick, the inside of the tunnel, the worker. So we can act like safety and quality and production are separate, and we actually structure organizations so that we have separate efforts for safety, quality, and production. But in fact, the worker on the line producing the widget as fast as the takt time wants them to produce the widget, that worker at that moment in time really represents all three. And that is a huge change in the way we think about not leading quality, safety, and operations or production. It's a huge change in the way we think about how those organizations are structured. So I did a class recently, and it was a pretty important class. And there was a huge moment in that class where somebody looked at me and said, I've never heard anybody tell me production is more important than safety. But I'll tell you that in the workplace, we constantly put workers in goal conflict between doing work and doing work thoroughly. Thoroughly, implying safe and high quality, operationally disciplined. That goal conflict forces the worker to make some very quick decisions in the now, as Jim Barker would say. And those decisions in the now are oftentimes the decision that makes the most sense for the current conditions, but may not make the most sense for the upcoming conditions. I want you to think about it. It's a safety moment. It's an operational moment. But we spend a lot of time separating safety away from production, when in reality, at the worker level, there is no separation between safety and production. It's not that production is more important than safety, or safety is more important than production. In fact, what workers do is actually safely produce. And maybe that's the language we should talk about. Not safe or effective, but safe and effective. And maybe one of the ways to talk about that is to talk about the way we structure our organization. And talk about the fact that maybe the separation between safety and quality and production only exists administratively at the management level, and that because that only exists at the management level, maybe that separation doesn't need to exist at all. Just a thought, something for you to kind of kick around. That's your safety moment for today. As always, have fun, learn every day, and for goodness sakes, be safe. Thanks.